For a limited time offer, get 10% off Hair Story's new wash by visiting hairstory.com/braincandy and using promo code BRAINCANDY. For $20 off each your first 3 boxes for a total of $60 off, visit hellofresh.com/braincandy60 and enter code BRAINCANDY60.
Oh, hey, Suze. Didn't recognize you with that British accent.
What if I picked one
I know,
up,
that's what I was
like
hoping
Madonna?
that you'd come back with something like that.
No.
I was even going to ask you I am asking you, what about Link? Did he say any words different while he was over there?
Not once.
Ah, not even water?
He's a
like he used
huge
to?
disappointment to us in every
you
way.
know, you win some, you lose.
Yeah, episode 257. We're here.
We're back.
We're in the United States of America.
Yes.
USA. I did that all the time.
Did you really?
Never.
No, never. Not
Can
even
you
once.
imagine?
I couldn't. They would be like,
They already
no.
think of me as like a total novelty act over there.
Can you tell me a little bit about what what's it like over there right now? Is there a vibe? Is there
It's similar to the U.S. because of Brexit.
Yeah.
There's that vibe. And, I met people who were upset about Eastern European folks coming over and into, quote, our England. And I was like, oh, God, they're here, too.
Yeah.
Sort of like us versus them. Mm-hmm. And also, apart from that, my only other complaint is the breakfast offerings are
who thinks that a fried piece of bologna is... that's what it feels like.
I know.
That thing I'm talking about?
They kept referring to how we like crispy bacon. I'm like, we just like bacon. What you're eating is a slab of ham.
Right.
Come on.
Yeah.
And they just don't like the idea of waffles or pancakes or French toast.
Yeah.
Because that's a dessert, they say.
Oh.
I mean, I get what they're saying. It is an odd thing.
It's funny, they like take the sweets out of, I feel like even the biscuits.
I know.
You're giving me dog cookies.
And like scones. Who are
Yeah.
they kidding with those?
I want this. Give me the sugar in there.
Right.
I mean, maybe that's our problem, and that's why we
collectively.
Yeah. So maybe that is.
Maybe they're on.
Maybe they are. I mean, dang.
No, but it was a great trip, and we had lots of fun.
I also wonder about I lived there for a little bit. As a student.
Yeah.
And the people I lived with were convinced that French fries counted as a vegetable.
Oh my God, I'm into that.
You can only be into that for so long before your
Do you
stomach
think that's
starts.
a young person thing, though, or
These people
British?
were not young.
Oh.
Yeah, that was a British thing. And I stayed at 2 different houses, and they both were like that.
When you were there, did you try, like, blood pudding and stuff?
Yeah.
And did you go for it?
No.
No, it's gross.
Yeah.
Adam was so happy. He misses, like, blood pudding, all that crap, and I just cannot believe.
There's not really a lot of the English food that I'm really down with.
Yeah, they're not known for their culinary...
German food I like.
Yeah.
Austria like that. I like some schnitzel and Spätzle. I like that one.
Me too. I'm real into that.
Yeah. Give me a Bavarian pretzel any day of the week.
We did get fish and chips at a chippy.
Yeah. Oh, a chippy?
Yeah, and it was yummy.
What does Adam put on his chips?
Vinegar.
Okay.
Yeah.
None of that
there.
mayonnaise crap,
Not
right?
here, though.
Oh.
He doesn't do it here. It must just be contextual.
Oh, yeah. It's so good on French fries.
Do you like it?
Yes, I love it.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm down for that. I mean, if you're going to feed me that kind of vegetable, give me something.
That vegetable.
Put some dressing on it.
Right. Good point. It was fun, though.
And you looked so beautiful in that hat.
Thank you.
Oh, my God.
I mean, why are we not doing that?
No joke. Every time you go out. I mean, you definitely need to be wearing that all the time.
Well, just even, why
Something
have
nice.
Americans not adopted this wedding attire, the fascinator?
You know what's interesting, though, is like the you can't wear a hat in church, and then they definitely break that rule for weddings. So what's
Who
that about?
says that you can't wear a hat in church?
I feel like that's a rule.
No, it's the opposite. You're like supposed to.
You're right. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
But you can't wear one at the dinner table?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess that's where they draw the line.
Right. So, like, do you take it off to go to eat dinner, or you leave it on?
Oh, like at the reception.
Yeah.
I kept it on through dinner, and then I took it off to dance.
Right. Well, I mean, that...
Because that, can you
It's only
imagine? But I'm just saying they're so beautiful. And they're like pieces of art.
Yeah.
They're so delicate. I'm like, why are we not... I guess we're a more casual society.
Where did you get that?
My mother-in-law had 3, and she let me choose between them.
It's gorgeous.
And I was so excited.
Did she have a special box she kept them in and everything?
No, I wish.
Oh, that's cool.
But she had no idea I was going to be so into it.
Oh, Christmas is coming up, people. We know we're getting Susie.
They're so pretty. I guess...
Dare I say fascinating?
I know, right? But yeah, that's my British tale. I do not recommend... I don't know how you deal with jet lag that often, because you travel further than I do.
A lot.
Like when you went to Spain or wherever you were?
Yeah. It seems to be not a problem on the way there, but a big problem on the way back.
Yeah.
Just adjusting.
Brutal.
And like they say you can take those over-the-counter medication and things like that help. I don't understand how.
Yeah.
I feel the same with those little wristbands that say they get rid of motion sickness. How?
Baloney.
Come on.
That is baloney.
One time my mom got roped into one of those like pyramid schemey companies where they give you a bunch of stuff to sell, and it was like the magnetic like insoles and shoe stuff, and she had the trunk full of it because they like I was like, Mom,
of all of the pyramid companies to be involved with,
it's like I don't know, it was back in the day, it was in probably the mid 90s.
Couldn't she do Amway like everyone else?
At
that time,
it's like magnetic insoles, and she really like bought into the the thing where they have you stand on it and they push your arm down and it resists, and I don't know why that works. I mean, it probably has something to do with, I don't know, energy in the body or blah, blah, blah.
So did she have trouble selling those babies?
Well, they sat in the trunk for a long time, and I'm pretty sure they just ended up, like, merging into the thing, like, the items in our own house, like, or I don't know.
Well, if we ever ask her what's in the trunk of her car,
that will be the answer.
I really hope it's some sort of metal wear.
And now it'll probably be like that witch kit from Sephora.
I read something recently that I wanted to ask you about.
Yeah.
Right at the top of the hour here.
Yeah.
Or no, I'll do this one first. Somebody wrote in to us named Maureen. Oh, she's in our book club, Mo.
Yeah.
Apparently, there is a business outside of Philly empowering women by educating them about cars and providing a place they can trust to get the work done without being taken advantage of. And she provided a link. I'll put it in the newsletter.
That's badass.
It's really cool because we were talking about how...
Yep.
Sorry about that plane, by the way. How, you always feel like you're being taken advantage of and stuff like that.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yep.
I wish there was more of that.
God, isn't that the worst feeling, being taken advantage of?
Yes.
We've had 2 landscapers take us for a freaking ride. And
trouble.
let me tell you, I almost went off on one this morning.
What happened?
Well, I didn't go off on him. I was just like, I won't let it happen again.
What did they try to do?
Well, the first one, we didn't realize, I don't know how, we ended up going with this company that is located up north. So they were just like, outsourcing stuff and like using people down here, but not following through on the project.
Yeah.
Because they do big projects, and ours wasn't like a big enough scale to have them like come down and do
You got the riffraff.
And we planted everything during a heat wave, so half of the stuff died, and then they messed up the settings on the sprinklers, so it flooded everything, and it went from being too dry to soaking wet. And then the other guy landed and paid him up front, took the money and ran.
Can you believe that?
I can't.
Was his last name Bananas?
Oh my God. Oh my God. That's probably why it's triggering for me.
Right.
And then when I had my miscarriage, I planted a lavender plant.
Oh no. No!
You betcha. And I was very specific, like,
replace
it. Like, replace it with another lavender plant. I understand if that one wasn't doing, but I don't want to see that. And I came out, and it wasn't there, and it was, like, another sad plant in its place.
Sarah,
and
who did that?
I had a meltdown this morning.
Oh, my God, I'm so sorry. That is terrible.
It was also,
life is hard.
Life is hard, of course. I had wasn't getting good sleep. I had a really rough day at the clinic the day before. I wasn't eating well. Like, I didn't have breakfast yet. It was just everything on top. And then I look out, and I'm like, like just sobbing because I was like just so sad. And I was like, I'm just going to go back to bed and start over. So I did.
No, you didn't.
I did. I went and got half an hour of sleep, and I was like, I'm just starting this day over.
Oh my God, I'm really sorry that happened.
But I was very specific with them. I sent him a picture. I'm like, pointed, like, this is where you better. And he was there like in a half an hour and putting, it was like, we'll get them all in, so follow through. But
that
I am
is kind of the risk you take when your miscarriage ritual involves something else that could potentially not thrive.
Right. So. And it was just like the spot. It felt like it was just like, I don't know, it was like heavier than it needed to be for me.
Oh my God.
And I did not want to get taken advantage of, so I am going line by line and being like, show me every single plant that you charged me for, because I want to make sure.
Right.
Because that invoice said 12 Spanish lavender, and I looked in my backyard and I see a nada. So
she's taking stock.
Yeah. I'm like, that better not be on the bill.
You know who else helps you with stocks?
Oh, I do.
Robinhood.
Yes. I love getting their alerts that tell me how great my stock's doing.
Me too. Robinhood is this super cool app that is for investing, and it lets you buy and sell stocks and all this stuff commission free. But I love it because it makes investing accessible to everyone.
Totally.
Which can be very intimidating if you've never done it before. So it's not just for wealthy people anymore. It's a non-intimidating way to introduce yourself to the stock market. And I've been using it and having a lot of fun, like you said. Mm-hmm. It probably shouldn't feel like a game to me, but it totally does. And I start to decide which stocks I want to buy. If I have a spare 20, I'll
you think about the other things we just throw away money on. This one is like, let's put our money towards making more money. What do you think?
True.
That
Put
seems like a great idea.
Money to work. There's no cost, no commission fees, anything like that. It's super easy to use. And they're giving our listeners a free stock like Apple, Ford, or Sprint to help you build your portfolio. Sign up at braincandy.robinhood.com. That's braincandy.robinhood.com. If you forget what it is, that's on our page of our website that has all the things if you're driving and you don't have time to write it down or whatever. But Robinhood is so much fun. Get a free stock.
Yeah, man.
See what you think. Download it. I'm sorry that happened to your lavender, though.
Oh, that's okay. New ones will be in there by the time I get home, they said.
All right.
So.
Well, that helps.
Yep.
Then the next thing I wanted to ask you about was, it was in Real Simple magazine.
I love that magazine.
I do too.
Oh, it's the best.
It's so fun.
It's like my brain feels organized when I read it.
I read it in the bathtub because it's just so good. Cleansing of the
yes.
mind.
Why do we love that so much? I should actually get a
Well, it's the same reason we love home edit.
I was thinking that. Yeah.
I'll give you mine when I'm done.
Oh my God, I would love that.
Okay, anyway.
Yes.
So somebody wrote in to ask a question about let's say you're in the doctor's office or a waiting room or whatever, and somebody else is waiting and they make a phone call. How annoying that is.
Worst.
Yeah, and they were sort of just asking what's the what?
How do you address this?
Is it okay, or because if you're with somebody there, you're allowed to have a conversation. So why shouldn't someone be able to talk on the phone? Mm-hmm. So it's sort of exploring the difference between those two things. And I was fascinated by this.
My theory. Yeah. Sarah's got a theory.
Yes. What's yours?
That it has something to do with how you talk to a person in person versus how you talk on the phone. There's a natural projection that you do, and you're almost speaking out towards the room when you're on the phone. Mm-hmm. Versus when you're talking to somebody, you turn and face them. You're almost using an 8-inch whisper, they say in school.
Yeah.
And so your voice is more contained to that, a smaller.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's what it says.
Oh, okay.
They have a theory as well, which a Michigan State University found that live conversations between two audible speakers were deemed less rude than any conversation via phone or face-to-face in which only one person could be heard. So even if two people were there but you could only hear one, they were being too loud, that's considered more annoying. People talk more loudly on their phones, which ups the annoyance factor, as you said. And as a rule of thumb, I'd take calls outside or in the hallway whenever possible, obviously. But you're right that, number one, people speak loudly on their phones.
Didn't even have to go to University of Michigan to figure that one out.
And number two, that there's something about when we can only hear half. Where it's more annoying to our brain.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so it almost wouldn't matter the volume to which those two people were speaking as long as you could hear both of them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Although I have heard some people even put speakerphone on Have you ever heard that?
Yes, I have.
And I'm
then they're
annoyed
walking
then, too.
around with it. What are you doing?
So in that case, even if I can hear both sides,
let's just join in on their convo. I mean, you might as well. You're including everybody in this room.
Right.
I would just chime in. That actually would probably be the most respectful, but also rude way to.
Yeah, I mean, I have a bad habit of doing things like that. It makes Adam really uncomfortable.
This seems right up your alley. I'm thinking of the guy at Apple who you're like, see you Wednesday.
But Adam says that like I shouldn't do that because I'm a girl, so they're not going to hit me. But like he might end up having to like defend my honor or something. But I don't know.
And it's the only defense you have, really. You know, it's like that's kind of why the comeback is like that, because you can't punch him in the face. So it's really activating your only defense mechanism in that time, and yours is pretty sharp.
It's fighting fire with fire,
Totally.
essentially.
Yeah.
Like he was smug, so I'll be
I'll
smug.
be smug.
And you know my line. Mm-hmm. I'm going to condescend to you. You condescend to me. You started it.
I love that. That's one of my favorite Susie clips.
That's my rule. Derek, by the way, keeps playing those.
I know.
clips.
You're like in my brain. I was just about to say how much I enjoy watching you pretty much be exactly the same.
Why are you saying that?
Because you talk the same. You still like have the same voice, and this, of course, not like it's gonna be any different, but you know, you just talk in the same way. And
Derek, he's like,
cute.
I don't know what he's up to. Is he starting a fight? Is that what we're doing?
There are a few people who I've seen chiming in recently, like Scott Herman from my season.
What happened?
All of a sudden said something. He never talks about the show.
Yeah.
And he said something like, oh, it's because they're scared of me or something like that. And I'm like, oh, somebody's got the edge.
No.
I know that tweet.
That's weird.
Yeah. It's definitely
And nobody
noticing
would
that.
even remember you, so they're definitely not scared of you.
Well,
I mean,
he's
yeah, if they knew him.
Right. And it's weird because, like, physical fitness does not necessarily translate to abilities on the challenge.
Don't I know it?
You and I are winners. And, and we're like,
I think
getting in
that's
our
more,
10 minutes a day with.
I think it does more now, though, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Big Easy, it ain't going to happen for him these
Did
days.
it ever?
Well, he made it to finals.
Oh, that's right. And he was on the... Oh, yeah. He wasn't in the ruins. Wasn't on the ruins.
No, but, I mean...
He did make it to finals.
I know they do try to do those puzzles and stuff to, like, even things out, but in the end, you got to run.
Correct.
So, I wouldn't be doing well in that department. Okay. Now let me... Yes. What?
I have to tell you about this other... Not like I want to, like, send people to listen to other podcasts, but sometimes you got to mix it up. Have you heard about this new podcast, Dr. Death?
No.
Oh, my God.
Is it about Kevorkian?
No. It's about this guy. It's, like, happened in, like, 2013 to 2015. It's happening, like, practically yesterday.
Yeah.
And it's this spine surgeon who has maimed or killed 33 out of 36 of the surgeries that he's done. And he's like his best friend he did surgery on paralyzed him.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And talking about how hospitals have been trying to, or people have been reporting him, and doctors have been trying to get him, reported to the state boards and things like that. And he was working for Baylor in Texas. And it's like cover up after cover up after cover up where they don't want any like marks against the hospitals. So they say that they like let him go.
It's like the Catholic Church where they just move him around.
Yes. It's the craziest story I've ever heard. I binge listened to 7 episodes. It's like 10 episodes or something like that, or 6 episodes. The next one comes out next week where we find out like, what the whole deal is. We don't know if he's faking it, if he's like...
faking it?
Like pretending like he knows what he's doing, but his intention is to kill people, or if he's just
really
like
bad
a narcissist who thinks that he's like the best surgeon and knows how to do everything, and it thinks he's doing the right thing, but is really killing these people.
Come on.
Person after person after person, dead, paralyzed. I mean, it is like a nightmare. Then I went to the chiropractor yesterday right after.
Yeah.
I have never been more terrified. And I was like, I need to tell you that I don't think you could crack my neck today because I'm listening to this podcast about a spine surgeon. I'm just really freaked out.
Really?
And it is like crazy to hear. And it reminded me of you, how you got to be smarter than your doctor.
Yeah.
And like, I couldn't imagine what it would be like to have This guy faked his online profile, like hired a PR company to do like almost like an infomercial for him with somebody saying that he cured him of his back stuff. And like they thought he was on drugs, so they would drug test him, but he would make excuses and be gone for 3 days so he wouldn't be able to take the test and then come back and the test would be like tampered with or it's
and he's
crazy.
an MD.
He's an MD. But he went through the research side. He did like half of his schooling residency in the research and the other half in surgery, and he only has, when they finally looked at all of the surgeries he's ever done, he's only done about 106. They asked another spine surgeon how many surgeries they've done in like their career during medical school. Over 2,500.
Right.
And they were like shocked that this guy would only have done that many. And they're letting him practice.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
And you haven't Googled to see what.
I don't want to. I'm not like you.
That is bizarre.
I have to just wait.
Okay.
I'm like on this kick of all these. And there's the Dear John one or Dirty John one. It's like, oh my God. There are some crazy stories out there. Real life is nuts. So, if you're getting spine surgery, make sure
right.
you know your doctor's getting. Also, check that podcast out.
And what we need to talk about is how excited you are about your special hair story products.
Dude. First of all, I have them all displayed nice on my counter because I love the clean packaging.
Yeah.
But that curl cream, there's like a balm, like a lotion, I think it is.
Yeah, it's a hair balm.
Hair balm. Oh my God, my curls love it.
Wow.
Not crunchy, super smooth, makes them like bouncy and smooth and defrizzes it. My air dry was like on point. That never happens. I'm so excited.
Hair Story has this whole line of products that you can try that kind of get to the bottom of what a lot of people are having trouble with like traditional shampoos, because apparently they are at the root of a lot of people's hair problems. Yes. And they have hair wash, and you can take like a little quiz and find out which one is the right formula for you. It's based with like essential oils and stuff like that. And it's like a sophisticated product wizard that like zeroes in on here's exactly what you need. And they have, like I said, the wash, but then they have the balm that Sarah's using. They have a lift product that gives you more
the
volume.
Powder? Oh my gosh, the powder is the best. I'm so excited about these products.
They have a whole line. You have to check it out. And we think you'll love it. And they are giving you a deal. That's the most fun part. For a limited time, you get 10% off Hair Story's new wash by visiting hairstory.com/braincandy and using our promo code braincandy as well. So you can check them out, see why they're different, see why they do better things for your hair and make your hair look fantastic. And that code again is braincandy at hairstory.com/braincandy.
I really just want my textured hair friends to check out that
That's
balm.
what I was thinking.
Because
you guys are always complaining.
Oh, I am. And it's like that sticky gel feeling where it's crunchy and it doesn't, they know what I'm talking about.
Trouble's brewing.
Yeah.
Yup. I wonder if Dr. Death has like commented on, like he has to have commented on is he on the show?
I think he's arrested.
Oh.
He's in jail. Like they finally
Okay,
hired,
you didn't say that.
Because
you said he was still practicing.
No, like he continued practicing even after he had done all these.
Well, that's a relief.
Horrible surgeries on people, and
I thought, he better get a new PR team after that. But I guess
they couldn't even take him down with the medical boards. They had to go to the district attorney and another surgeon who was like, "This guy is killing people." Like the hospital wouldn't believe. Like nobody would take them seriously or stop this guy because they were worried about getting sued.
Right,
by the doctor.
That's a big problem.
So it's like most they would sue is like $2 million. So they were worried about $2 million and
instead
33 people.
Beings,
lives were worth $2 million. That's like gross to me. So
question, changing the subject.
Yeah, yes,
I am on Facebook. Like there's this beauty group that I'm in, and somebody had posted a picture of herself in there, and then she later posted just a friendly reminder, like, please don't use drag queen terminology when commenting on my pictures. And then, like, some people were like, what do you mean? And then other people would chime in and be like, anything that's like, yes, queen, or you better work, or like all those things that a lot of women now say to each other on their pictures.
Yeah.
And I wondered, number one, had you heard of this?
Well, I mean, I understand the, like, calling it drag queen, terminology.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of feels like sometimes doing things like that create, like, work to keep that other group in, like, a bubble. And it kind of makes it feel like, oh, well, that's theirs and that this is ours. And I don't know if I like that as much. It almost feels like we're embracing and accepting drag culture by using that, being able to say, like, yeah, I love a drag queen who looks like that. I love, you know, what, I don't know. It depends on maybe how it's said or what is said.
I guess.
Does she feel insulted that people are thinking that she looks like a drag queen? Is that more it?
Mm-mm. She didn't like just the idea that she saw it as appropriating. But I was just like, whoa.
But like, if you look at what I recently had this conversation, and if you look at what the definition of appropriation is, does that really fit there?
I don't think so.
I don't think that's what, and I'm not even saying this. I was having this conversation with people of color, and they were telling me that that's like, not really appropriation. You don't have to worry about
like when
that.
you were worried about your hoop earrings.
That was the conversation. You are naming. You are referring to the exact conversation. She's like, you're
can
fine.
Wear them.
You're good, Sarah.
But then you were like, but I can't wear them with a wrap.
A wrap. Yeah. So like you can. Yeah. So like, maybe, you know, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like appropriation to me. And I wonder what her affiliation with. Like, she's kind of speaking on behalf of drag queens now.
Right, but she's just, maybe, as far as I know, this was a cisgendered woman, whatever. And she just said, I'm not speaking for everyone. I'm not saying this is a rule for the whole group. Just for me, I just feel
well, you know, I guess
different
that's her rules. But I kind of like, then I think about all, you know, Yas Queen. I really thought that was, it probably was a drag queen thing, but I learned about it from the show Broad City.
Oh.
And they're just a couple of Jewish gals making jokes.
Right. Making you smile.
Yeah. And then Phoebe Robinson, one of the two dope queens, that's like her. Yes, Queen, yes.
Right.
YQY. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always open. Like, if a drag queen says to me, look, Suze.
Yeah, totally.
This is our thing, and you're co-opting our terminology, then I'm like, okay, but I had never crossed my mind. I'm not really using the phrase a lot or any of those words a lot anyway, but I didn't know they were off limits. So I just wondered, because you're usually more in tune with these debates. Am I allowed
to say, if you can't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love anybody else?
I don't think.
Something like that?
I don't think so.
Does that count? Because I use that in my therapy office all the time.
I think you can say it, but just not like you just did.
Okay. Not with the finger. Does it count if I've met RuPaul?
Affectation, right.
I have a picture with him.
Right. RuPaul, when you met...
He was not RuPaul.
Right.
He was Charles?
Okay.
What's his name? I think it's Charles.
It sounds right.
Yes, he was dressed...
And he was presenting as male.
Yes, presenting as male.
And was he nice to you?
The nicest ever.
That is so
taught
cool.
me how to make cleavage.
Oh,
with
right.
makeup. Yes.
Wait, how did that come up?
Gave me like a long tutorial. Like, he really took time. It was the sweetest.
How did it come up in conversation?
He's so tall and beautiful. We were just talking about... He was at the table right next to us because we were both at the GLAAD Awards.
Right.
They got nominated, and so did we in the same category. They ended up winning.
Yes.
So, I said something along the lines of like,
"What's a gal got to do around here to get some
look at all these gals are like looking better up top than me. You know, like what's the trick?
Oh, like the drag queens.
Yes. I'm like, what? Come on, help a girl out here.
Is it true though that the makeup will work?
Well, yeah, he was like, you have to make a champagne shaped, like a champagne glass contouring in white, like in a light color. You'd think it was dark.
You would.
But you want to go light right where your like a sternum area,
Yeah.
like a champagne glass.
Yes.
And then you do a little dark highlight right above that, and bada bing, bada boom, you're bueno.
Do you
it
do
almost
it sometimes?
seems like the opposite. No, I've never done it.
So you wanted to know how.
Yeah. But like,
For
because you know what? Here's the
emergencies.
thing is, I remember trying to do it, and whatever outfit I was wearing, there was so much transfer of makeup onto it that was what I didn't want to risk.
We have to have a follow-up session with him about what you need to
Yeah.
do.
How do you keep it set and is there a spray?
Set and forget.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I need that.
Okay, that's
So,
step 2.
Yeah, I only got the foundation.
First things.
Yeah. How do I get nominated for another GLAAD award?
It was nice of him to teach you.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Yeah. I'm really into that. Another fantastic documentary that I recommend to anyone is Paris is Burning.
Okay.
It is so good. It's about the Vogue scene.
Oh, cool.
And it's all the different houses. That's what they call them, like these groups that compete against each other. And it's this underground world. And it was something that really was a community, especially for African American people, like LGBTQ, folks.
Yeah.
And it was just like such an amazing community and amazing
Where did you watch
thing.
this?
Frank from the show recommended it years ago. I think I saw it like 5 or 6 years ago now.
Oh.
Yeah. It's been out for a while. And
Okay.
it's like one of the number one, like it's always in like the top 100 documentaries or whatever. It is so good.
Speaking
Check it out.
of
The music
number
is
one.
great.
Yeah, so speaking of number one, we need to talk about
My favorite place to go number 1 and 2?
the Omigo toilet seat. Migo.
Yeah. This is so funny, like, because everybody has that person in their life. They're like, what do you get the person who has everything? I have a husband like that.
Yes, you do.
I found the ultimate gift. Susie, tell him what I got.
Okay, so there's this toilet seat called Amigo, and you can put it on your toilet like you would a normal toilet seat, but it washes you instead of like how we're for some reason over here in America in the dark ages.
Isn't that the weirdest thing?
I don't get it.
I just watched a whole clip that said countries who use bidets have way lower rates of UTIs and any kind of, stuff going on down there.
Because we're like smearing BM all over.
Somebody in the documentary said, could you imagine if I put poo on your arm and just took a paper towel and wiped it off? You'd be like, there's still poo on my arm.
That is what I heard Will Smith say on Howard Stern. And he's like, of course you would want something wet.
Right. It's so silly.
So anyway, this toilet seat features it's heated. It has a nightlight. It's soft closing. It air dries. It self cleans. You don't have to use TP anymore, so you're saving trees. And I mean, talk about luxury.
Yeah.
And that's why Sarah's doing her business on the Omega. Get $100 off your order when you go to myomigo.com/braincandy. That's Omigo, OMIGO. Go to myomigo.com/braincandy to get $100 off. The future seems weird at first. Let it be weird.
Yep.
That's
And this is just the perfect gift for that father-in-law or...
Right?
Yeah.
Every man in the universe.
Why did
Well,
they spend
really, women
They spend
too.
so much time in there. You might as well give them a luxury seat to sit on.
I know.
You
I
know?
know. It's super fun.
Yeah.
I love stuff like that. Okay. Did you... Changing the subject. Yeah. Did you read about the grocery store or whatever in Kuwait that was putting fake googly eyes on their fish so that the fish looked fresh?
No, stop it. I've never once looked at a googly eye and been like, yep, that's the real thing.
Like those ones that you would use in like a craft for a kindergartner.
One of my favorite things to do when I had roommates and even when people came to visit is... and I always have craft supplies everywhere. I'd put googly eyes on the fruit in my fruit bowl.
See, that's cute.
Yeah, and then people would open the fridge and it looks like the bananas are staring at you.
I love that.
Thanks. feel free to use that
I
link.
will.
Yeah, it's real fun.
Because I'm packing lunches now.
My God, put googly eyes in the lunch.
He would love it.
And you can make little funny faces on them. Or Adam's going to be real into this too.
Yeah, I like what you're saying.
Yeah,
This is real good.
So googly eyes in the fish store.
Yeah, so they got
Have they never seen actual fish in Kuwait? What's going on?
The picture of it is so funny because it's like this sad, dead, old fish with like the droopy eye, and then the googly eye was like falling off. And so they got I guess shut down.
Did they stick it inside the socket?
Good question. I believe they did not.
Okay, because you'd almost be able to maybe...
They should
the whites of the eyes. There's so much wrong with that. It doesn't look real when...
But I gotta say, when I bought fish, I actually don't even really pay attention to the eyes. Maybe it's a Kuwaiti thing where they're really into fresh eyeballs.
Yeah, maybe there's something that we need to know about what the eye, there's that secret little part of the avocado where if you take off the little top and it's green, it's still good, but if it's brown, don't even bother opening it because you know it's going to be bad. Yeah. Maybe the eyeball is like that for the fish. If it's gray, it's not good. You know how sometimes they almost look like they have cataracts?
Yeah.
Maybe,
and you even hear that about the human eye. I mean, besides being the window to the soul, they also say a lot of the health you can tell from your mouth and your eyes and things like that. Yep. So
maybe we should take a look at that.
Maybe I'll walk in here with those googly eyes pasted on. I'm fine. I'm fine. I thought that was hilarious.
Really funny. You're gonna have to put that picture up somewhere in our.
I will.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to see that.
Whenever stuff like that trends on Twitter, it really does help bring levity to what is often a depressing news day or whatever that's going on, and you're overwhelmed with the garbage in the world, and then you're but somebody put googly eyes on fish.
It's always fun to take a peek at what's trending on Twitter and being why is Mario Kart and Toad trending now?
Sometimes I will compare what's trending for Brain Candy's account.
Oh,
it's totally different.
It's different. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for a while I was playing fantasy football, and I had a bunch of I started following a bunch of the NFL players, and some of them followed me back. No big deal. Yep. I see you, Travis Kelce.
Travis Kelce.
Yeah, he's so hot too. That's another story. And he's doing real well this year. Go Chiefs.
If he slides into your DMs, please tell me.
Oh, I can't wait.
Because that would be great.
Yeah, I will. I don't even remember what I was talking about. Oh, yeah. See how distracting
Trending topics.
So it was all NFL and sports reports. I'm I'm not even that into
sports reports.
Yeah, sports reports.
Yeah.
Hey,
Wait, hold on. Where is it? Damn it.
This in on the sports report, Sarah doesn't give a fuck.
The sports report.
If there isn't something called the sports report, they really need to make it.
You know what? We should just have one.
Yes, and alternative sports.
By the way, that reminds me, some gal wrote in today. I hate when I can't remember people's names, but she wanted us to talk about the Serena Williams thing.
Yes, we have to.
Tell me what you think.
I am so team Serena Williams. It's not even funny. And I was really upset when I saw that cartoon that made the other tennis player white with blonde hair.
Yeah.
It looked like you on the other side. Mm-hmm. And then I saw, I'm that's not what she looks like. And that really, that was not okay. And there's a bigger thing that she was trying to make. It wasn't about her match right here. It was about the whole system and how this is how it's been. And she quoted matches from 2017 and with the same ref and how he responded when there were guys that were fuck that and sorry Linda, and he was didn't even care about that, but he was really mad about her saying.
Well, let me ask you this, because I bet you'll know more than me. I basically saw the interaction she had with the ref and the aftermath, but what was she getting coached by her coach? What was the deal there?
No, I think, and it was interesting because I had watched a lot of matches, in that tournament.
Yeah.
And they always cut to the coach. They, cut to the coach in the stands.
Yeah.
Multiple times I saw the coaches either talking about something or saying things with their hands that were other people's coaches.
Okay. The player?
Yeah, to I mean, that's just what you're going to do. You're going to look up there and he's the coach. It's kind of like the moms when they have the daughters who are competing in like a dance recital and the mom's sitting in the chair going on, like doing it along with her and like mouthing the words because she's watched her practice, and it almost is like those are mirror neurons. That's your brain reflecting empathy and your relation to the other person. It's something that they do because they're close.
Yeah.
And I don't think that he was
it was nothing out of the ordinary.
Right.
Okay.
And she doesn't need any goddamn coaching. She knows what she's doing. Like, there's nothing that he's telling her that she doesn't already know.
I felt the pain in her voice when she said, I have never cheated in my life.
Yeah.
And I believe her.
Yeah, I do too.
And when she said, I have a daughter, I was like, oh, that hits me.
Yeah. Because that seemed like what she was fighting for there.
It was bigger than
It was
her.
bigger than that. It was like, I have a daughter and I don't want her subjected to the ways that, you guys have treated me.
Yeah. And also she is setting an example of integrity in sport. She's saying, I would never cheat. I have a kid or whatever.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I do think there's a double standard. And was it Martina Navratilova or I forget which one of the older players said there is indeed someone else?
The real famous one, lesbian, came out. Oh, my gosh, she's got Billie Jean King.
Oh, I love her.
Yes.
The lesbian.
Well, I
was
mean...
like, because I think Martina Navratilova is also...
Yeah, but the founding, the woman of tennis who just was like, I'm out and I'm proud, and so her.
Yeah. And she agreed that there's a double standard.
She's like, I stand with her.
We saw it with Andre Agassi. We saw it with that dude.
Oh my God.
That was, I forget his name. He was a white guy that, there we go again. Oh, a white tennis player? That narrows it down. Right. Anyway, but they always had tantrums, and it was like their trademark throwing rackets and things like that.
Oh, man. I would be fined all the time.
The same person that wrote in about that also wanted to know our thoughts on how people were blaming Ariana Grande for Mac Miller's shenanigans.
They always try to do that.
What do you think about that?
I can't stand that.
Like, I mean, anytime that you're holding the woman...
Yeah. Well, and also, the nature of addiction is... that contributed to their relationship, Like, this isn't just something that he dealt with just right now, he overdosed. If somebody's at the point where they're overdosing, this has been going on for a while.
Yeah.
He was probably using drugs while they were together. I'm sure that affected her relationship in a negative way. We don't know the reasons why they ended the relationship. Maybe she said, I love you so much, but I recognize that what you're doing is unhealthy, and I can't be a part of this because it's not a healthy place for me. To me, that sounds like a woman who was able to set healthy boundaries for herself and
still loved him.
And still,
And maybe that's evidence of...
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I met somebody recently who had almost kind of a similar story, really a similar story, and she felt so much pain from that and guilt. And it's just so sad to hear that... And she knew that she did everything she could.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, you have to say... your decisions are your decisions, and I have to do what's the best for me.
Stop holding women accountable for the behavior of men.
For real. Because you know what? I guarantee... Did anybody say anything when Amy Winehouse died? Did they blame her boyfriend?
People... You know what? I think that people do really... I don't know if they blame him, but definitely acknowledge he was a bad influence. But that's different because they were both addicts together.
Yeah, that is very true.
So you could see more of a codependent scenario.
As soon as Mac Miller, I found out that he passed away, I was like, somebody needs to check on Ariana Grande.
Yeah, in fact, you said it to me.
Yeah, I was like, somebody needs to check on her because she's going to be this is going to really affect her.
Yeah.
And somebody needs to be looking out for her because it's not her fault.
Yeah, amen. So that was submitted by Tanya. I looked her name up, and thank you, Tanya, for those great topics. I love when people say we should talk about such and such, because sometimes, especially if we don't see each other for a minute, things happen, and then we forget to...
Tons of stuff.
...discuss.
Right.
Another important issue is how you're going to eat dinner tonight with HelloFresh.
Mm-hmm. Not important. I mean, well, I should say I don't have to worry about it anymore because it's taken care of.
Yes. HelloFresh takes all the boring crap out of your mealtime plans because they send you the ingredients that you need in a box, and you can pick like the classic veggie or family. And it brings for me, it brought my family together in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Sarah watches. It's real cute.
It's so cute.
And like makes cooking simple and convenient because you don't have to go to the grocery store or like meal plan. Yeah. I've never been good at that.
No, me neither.
And
I want to.
Yeah, I'm aspirationally a meal planner.
And I can handle about a half an hour. So that's luckily what HelloFresh gives me.
And now that Lincoln's in school too, I know that on a certain day of the week, I'm going to get these meals and we know what we're eating and we don't have to worry about it. And so it's just more convenient and simple. And it's super affordable. And plus you get a deal if you use our code for $20 off each of your first 3 boxes for a total of $60 off. Visit HelloFresh.com/BrainCandy60 and enter promo code BrainCandy60. So that is a friggin' great deal.
Delicious deal.
Also,
mm-hmm.
I want to say, did you read about the offer that KFC was making for if you named your baby Harland?
Wait. That's my father-in-law. With a D, I know. Okay, there's a D.
Yeah.
My father-in-law is Harlan.
Yes.
I love that name.
If you were to have a baby at this point, and if it were a son, if you named it Harland, you could get $11,000.
Why?
Oh, well, the founder, the colonel's name was Harland. Man,
I would have definitely done that if I had a boy, and I would just drop that D and be like, I named you after, just kind of like erase it. It's a silent D. Erase it on the birth certificate.
They have, the companies do these gimmicks of baby names and stuff like that.
I've never, ever, ever heard of that.
Did any company do
Never.
that?
Not once. I did not know this was a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing. And sometimes it'll be like, let's say a lady has her baby at like a Dairy Queen, and then she'll name her baby like Princess. Well,
oh my God. That is so hilarious.
But then the baby will get like all kinds of crap.
Oh, and you were on my case for wanting to name my twins Variable and Control.
But that you get nothing for except
that's true.
Hilarious
satisfaction.
Yeah, it's laughter and
laugh,
joy.
but only with academics. No one else.
I mean, if I were a person that, could use a few dollars.
Yeah, I would do that in a second.
Because it's a scholarship for the kid in this case. $11,000 towards their college.
And that's not giving them a dumb name.
No, I think it's
a really nice name.
Yeah,
Harlan,
but
that's a great name.
They said that, obviously it's not very popular now.
Yeah.
I guess it was when the colonel was alive. And so they're like, we're trying to bring it back. So
have people taken them up on this offer? How many babies we got going?
So far, I haven't heard of any. I just heard the announcement of the promotion. But I really hope people go for it.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious.
Man, my due date would have been right around this time.
Right. Well, tell me, though, because I was going to ask you that, do you have feelings about that due date?
Yeah.
Oh, I would too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially since I have 2 friends who had babies or are having babies within a 1 week period of that.
Right.
And I was like, man, if this would have been all of us together, all of our kids would have been the same age. That's real fun.
Yeah.
And then they rip out my plant. So it's kind of right around the time of the...
Right when the lavender would have been blooming.
Right. So, but it really wasn't until, I didn't realize how many things I had signed up for or I made the Amazon
Instagram
registry.
Where you got baby formula on your friggin' porch.
Yeah. That was ooh, that feels weird.
Because I remember when I was pregnant, these things show up. Yeah. You don't even know you've signed up through whatever, your doctor or Amazon or whatever. Yep. And then crap shows up at your door.
Uh-huh.
And they really should have something put into place for folks who lose their babies.
Yeah. Because that probably happens a lot.
Well, we know it does.
Yeah.
Did you see... There was a celebrity who a celebrity couple who was talking about miscarriage.
Yeah, something Lampert. Is it? It's a country singer, right?
Oh.
I feel like it's a country singer.
Okay, well, the person that I was reading about, the man was actually saying that they shouldn't call it that, miscarriage, because it implies you're like at fault. Like if you miscarry something, then you make a mistake. You've done something wrong.
Totally agree with this guy.
Yeah.
Who was it? Oh, was it Gabrielle Union? And
wait,
her husband?
You're talking about Carrie Underwood.
Carrie Underwood.
And she's been talking about the struggle she's had.
And then I know
was someone else.
Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade, they have been trying for a really long time. And
no luck.
I think she has endometriosis, and she's been very vocal about the struggles. And
it's very common.
I almost feel like, not lucky, but I mean, these women have had 4 in a year, you know? And it's just like, I couldn't imagine what that would be like. So there should be a better name for that. That is a very antiquated, like, blaming.
Right. Who came up with that? But what would be better? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I do think, like, that whole realm is sort of under, like,
we kind of just say
cared for.
Like, when we talk about Atlanta, I'll be like, oh, well, we lost the baby. But then it kind of feels like, well, it's not like he wandered out into the woods and couldn't get home. You know?
But people do use that about, like, you know, if you lose a parent or... Yeah. So I guess that's maybe a little bit better.
Yeah. It kind of takes away the death part of it a little bit.
You think?
Yeah, I don't know. It softens it.
Yeah.
Same with... Like, there was some therapist, I can't remember who it is. I think his name is something Yalom. But some famous therapist who talked about how in the room, like working with clients, you shouldn't say, like, this person passed away, and you should be more direct. And I don't know if I'm really on board with that. They said you should call it when this person dies, like, be more
in therapy.
Direct. Yeah, when you're working with them.
But what about in conversation socially?
Well,
no, it doesn't apply.
He didn't write anything
about that. What
do
you think?
I think that it does. I think you should talk about it as, like, lost and this person passed away. I think you need to work at the pace of the person who's grieving. And if they introduce, like, this person died, then you can start using that word. But I feel like it's a word that needs to be introduced by the client. But maybe that keeps them in a state of, like, grieving for too long, and maybe that, I don't know. But everybody, I think, moves at their own pace with that. Right. And it looks so different for everyone.
I was reading this really beautiful piece on Maya Rudolph in the New York Times.
I love her.
I think it was, I love her. I think she's so sexy and so smart. Mm-hmm. There's just something about her. Totally. She has that attractive whatever, and I've always felt that way. But most of the piece was describing how she is, the reason why she's such a great comedic actress and a great impressionist is because she didn't really feel comfortable in who she was. She's a mixed race person. Her mom was a famous African-American singer. She sang that song, Loving You. Oh. That's it. And her dad is the white, I think he was a producer of music. Anyway, I've always thought how stunning she is. And often that's the case of people with mixed heritage. Mm-hmm. But they did put a picture in of when she was like 3. And it was like, you've never seen a person that looked like this. Like, the hair was, wow. Like, different than you expect, or even how her hair is now, because she knows how to take care of it and stuff, or how she likes it. And so she's felt like an outsider. But I bring it up just to say that she lost her mom at a young age, and she kept bringing that up, that, like, she now looks back and thinks a lot about how kids process information and how we don't really know a lot about what's going on with kids, and they're all different.
Oh my God.
In fact, I'm sorry to ramble, but there was also another article I read about how psychology in general is having this sort of crisis.
I know. I just have to be like, listen, it's an art and a science. You have to, like,
Well, the bad thing about your field is that, like, you know, it's people really take it seriously. Nobody takes my stuff seriously, so I don't have the same bar. Like, everyone thinks religion's ridiculous anyway. So with you guys, though, we are really relying on you to get crap right.
Right.
Did you read about the marshmallow thing?
No, I read about other ones. It seems like there are a lot of studies that they're being like,
bad news. Yeah. Well, okay. I swear I'm going to go back to, I believe I can find the file of a previous Brain Candy where we talked about the famous marshmallow
Yes,
test.
we definitely did.
And at the time,
delay of gratification, putting in your mouth, it maybe is an indicator that the children who did this would be more prone to addiction or impulsive behavior.
Yeah, if you ate the marshmallow.
Yes.
But if you didn't and you waited, you were predicted to have more success in life.
Yeah.
At the time, because I've always been bothered by this, because I imagined myself in that position as a child, and I was poor.
Yeah.
And I believe I said on the show, I think they should consider whether the kid is from a wealthy background or not. Because I know my kid would wait for the next marshmallow because he doesn't give a shit. He could have marshmallows anytime he wants. But if I saw a marshmallow,
there wasn't another chance for marshmallows.
I would never know for sure whether they were going to give me two.
Yeah.
So I'd take the one. And they have found since in a bigger study that that's the predictor of whether, and that's why it determines success.
Is so fascinating that you bring this up because just this week in class, we're in this life cycles class, and one of the topics was class, like where you are, like class systems, like where you are. The greater the pay gap, between like the wealthy and the poor, the more distrust there is. And that, I think that is an echo of what you're saying, is that there's not even a trust that the person who's going to be supplying the marshmallow will in fact give you 2 marshmallows later. And it plays into such a big thing.
If you grow up poor and your family says on Friday we're going to order a pizza, but then they don't have the money on Friday,
you
aren't going to get the pizza.
Suze, you're so right.
So you grow up thinking like, if that's there now, I'm taking it.
I'm taking what I can get right now. And the instant gratification, which is almost, we even talked about this in class, it's a cycle that keeps you in that class.
Yeah.
Because you're
if money's coming in.
Yes, money's also going and it's going out and you're spending it. And there's no, like, the concept of saving or putting, like, I'm going to sacrifice something right now so I can have something later is really difficult when you don't have your basic needs met right now.
Yes.
Dude.
And so
this is
what that study predicts is simply if you are from a privileged background, you have a greater likelihood of being successful later. And if
thanks for telling us something we didn't even need you to research.
And I just feel like maybe that they were talking about like the replication problem. And a lot of these studies that are really exciting, they're having trouble replicating. It took them long enough. They've been going with that marshmallow thing. It was only with 80 kids. The original.
That's the article I read was, I can't remember what the study was, but they looked at it and they're like,
sample size is
you had
important.
like 50 people and they were all college students from this town. You can't do that. It's not
right.
Yeah.
So
evidence-based treatment, it's kind of difficult to even.
Right. You better work on that.
Yeah.
You got your work cut out for you.
I know.
Every day I'll read something that excites me in your field though. And so, it can be frustrating when things are like in flux, but
the good thing is we're learning more about the brain and the areas of the brain and how the brain works. I think a lot of these tests that were done it's almost like a top-down or bottom-up way of figuring out the problem. So being able to look at how this chemical imbalance plays out in real life versus looking at what does this chemical imbalance look like inside the brain and how can we, change things and control things by activating certain centers, like being able to reduce fear in people by stimulating certain parts of the brain or vice versa, and like treating trauma patients. And they're able to look at more and more of like how the brain works and how the brain responds and what areas are activated. Like we know more about trauma now than we did. I mean, obviously, you always know more than the previous generation.
Yeah.
But, that whole fight, flight, and freeze thing.
Yeah.
The freeze one is a new one that they've just tacked on.
They just thought of that.
And that one is almost the most, like the thing that's the most common. Like I just read in this amazing book, The Body Keeps Score, that is all about trauma and how we process it in the body. And it showed that there's an area of the brain called Broca's area, which is where we learn language, which is where language is developed. And when the person experiences trauma, that part of the brain shuts down, like completely deactivated. So when people say, I don't even have the words, they literally do not have the words because that area of the brain has gone dark. And they know that they can even trigger that similar response if you put them in an MRI and read through them a detailed description of that trauma again. Once again, that center will shut off.
And they can't do what?
Can't talk. Like they can't come up with the words. It's not like it shuts off for forever. But as they're describing and reliving the trauma in their mind can't process, like rationalize. It's using two parts of the brain. It needs to use two parts of the brain to rationalize what's going on, like the left and the right, that kind of balance it out and allow us to kind of make sense of what's happening. But when we're in trauma, all that rationalization part shuts down, and you're like in this straight survival, very like reptilian mode. And so all those other things about like processing emotions or feelings, none of that is activated.
Right.
So you can see how anything external that triggers those kind of things also activates that. And you think about it, how this relates back to everything you're talking about. It's like you think about a child who's experienced even like the trauma of not having their basic needs met. Like trauma can look like, it doesn't need to look like war or like a car accident. It can be unmet needs from a very young age. And if something triggers those same kind of responses, you're looking at like basic different brain chemistry.
Yeah.
So we're able to look at more about that now.
Right.
And so maybe these experiments aren't, they can be used to kind of like test a theory that you've developed in looking at the brain. Maybe,
sure.
Yeah.
It just needs to be a better representative sample, a larger sample size, and then maybe consider more factors.
Yeah, and also like it almost seems dangerous to try to make a prediction of you're going to be successful or you're going to be an addict, because it almost seems like labeling that child as that based on one behavior. And I wonder if that child internalizes that and says, well, because I will be honest, after listening to that study, I was like, well, that's probably why I don't know, whatever kind of like addictive behavior I partake in. I was like, well, this explains it, because I would totally eat that marshmallow. And maybe it's because my delay of so I've almost tried to create like delays of gratification to counter that, when really I don't need to be friggin' worried about that, because that wasn't a predictor anyway. I just got it in my head based on the results of that test.
Right. Yeah. And you start to think, wait, what category do I fit in? I'm destined for addiction, which is like or whatever.
Confirmation. Like, so you're almost training your brain to be the way that somebody told you are.
I've been fighting that my whole life.
Yeah. A lot of people do.
Because everybody in elementary school is put into like a category.
Yep.
Like even with like a reading group.
Totally.
Are you in the advanced?
Yep.
Are you in the middle? Are you in the below average or whatever? And then you think that's who you are forever.
Totally.
And so if you can, just don't stick with that. That's what I've been trying to do for my entire adult life. Like, I'm not going to be that.
Right.
Yeah.
But... And you aren't your labels.
That's for sure. And like we were talking about with the comedy thing, it's never too late to be something else.
Right. And we are in the driver's seat. You are in charge. This is where like self-worth, identity, those things are like the most important. Like forget about anything else. Just think about, who am I? What is my worth? And do I love myself?
That's the whole problem, though, with families is like who you are at whatever age is like who they see you as forever.
Worst, right?
I hate that.
Yeah.
Because obviously we change, and hopefully.
Yeah.
But they still think this is who you are. You fit into this category because it's like convenient, lazy thinking. Fuck that. And fuck Linda. All right, we're out of here. See you next time.